This lesson is going to be divided into two video clips as there are two methods that I'm going to teach you today. Addition of fractions with different denominators, method 1. Now, as working with fractions, we've learned to work with steps. So here are the steps for adding fractions with different denominators. Step 1, make sure all the denominators are the same. Step 2, change the denominators to make them the same. There are two methods, equivalent fractions, which is method 1, or the lowest common multiple, which is method 2. Remember, what you do at the bottom, you do at the top. Step 3, add the whole numbers. Step 4, add the numerators, only the numerators. Step 5, if you have an improper fraction, change it into a mixed fraction. Step 6, simplify. At any point throughout the calculations, if a step does not apply, move on to the next step. Adding fractions with different denominators, method 1, example 1. 3/4 plus 5/8. Now step 1 is identify whether the denominators are the same. I have quarters and eighths, therefore different denominators. Step 2, change the denominators so that they are the same. So let's write down the equivalent fractions of 3/4. We have 3/4, 6/8, 9/12, and 12/16. I'm going to stop there so that we can look at our calculations. Now let's look at the eighths. So 3/4 is equal to 6/8. What did we do to the 4 to make it an 8? We multiplied by 2. Remember, what you do at the bottom, you have to do at the top. Therefore, we have 6/8. Now, let's substitute this into our equation. Now we are going to have the equation 6/8 plus 5/8. All right, so that can be rewritten as 6 plus 5 over 8. 6 plus 5 is 11. That gives us 11/8. This is an improper fraction. Now we need to change the improper fraction into a mixed fraction by dividing the numerator by the denominator. That is 11 divided by 8, which will give me 1, remainder 3, which gives us the fraction 1 and 3/8. Now this is going to be my final answer, as 3 and 8 have no common factors. Example 2. 3 and 1/3 plus 1 and 5/6. Step 1, are my denominators the same? They are not, so I move on to step 2. Step 2, equivalent fractions method. I write down the equivalent fractions for 1/3. 1/3 is equal to 2/6, which is also equal to 3/9 and 4/12. What did I do to 3 to get 6? I multiplied by 2. What you do at the bottom, you need to do at the top. Therefore, my new fraction is going to be 2/6. Let's substitute that into our equation. So now we have 3 and 2/6 plus 1 and 5/6. Okay. Step 3, add the whole numbers. 3 plus 1 is 4. That can be rewritten as 4 and 2 plus 5 over 6. 2 plus 5 is going to give you 7. So we have 4 and 7/6. This is an improper fraction. So I take my numerator divided by my denominator. That is 7 divided by 6 equals 1, remainder 1. Add my whole numbers again. 4 plus 1 and 1/6 is going to equal 5 and 1/6, and that is going to be my final answer. Please look at the next video clip for method 2.